Okay, welcome back. This is Cindy and Char's B2 podcast, where we were born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, and influenced by the 90s. And we're here to, we're here to reminisce with you.
We're here to influence you.
Maybe. I'm Cindy.
And I am awesome.
Of course you
I'm Char.
Yes. So, Char, what are you drinking tonight?
I have two things.
Okay, perfect.
I'm an alky like that. I'm a little lush.
You're extra.
I am extra. So the first one I am so curious about. It's by Modelo, which I enjoy Mexican lagers.
What does it say? Agave? Or what does it say?
Yeah, there you go. Can you see it now? Agua Fresca.
Okay.
And it's Sandia.
Oh, it's a watermelon.
Yeah. But also there are watermelons all over the can.
I didn't see them though.
All over the can. Okay. So this is the first one. I'm going to try this. It's an Agua Fresca. So it's not a seltzer. So I don't know. I prefer stuff that's carbonated, and I have a feeling it's not going to be carbonated. It's not carbonated, but it is good. It almost tastes like a Jolly Rancher.
Oh, like a watermelon one?
Yeah, but not super sweet. My second drink is... So, Simply lemonade.
Yes.
So this is a Simply Spiked. It's a peach.
Yeah, I've tried those.
So, and also remind me to tell you the funny story about how I ended up with two of these.
You did tell that story already.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Oh. Let me tell it again because it's hilarious. Normally I love peach. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
It doesn't really taste like peach though. It does kind of taste like a spiked juice, I guess. Oh no, now it's broken. Now I need a third one. I don't know why this isn't working. Yeah, I don't know. What do you got?
So I, of course, am using my handy dandy mule glass with some ice. I have a little bit of a mixture, which I have been loving these lately. They're so good. It's...
Oh, Seagrams. Ooh.
This is ridiculously delicious. So this one, it came in like a multi-pack.
Okay.
This one is blueberry, however you say that word. Acai. Okay, acai lemonade.
You have to go, acai!
Acai chop. So, yes, it's that. And I added some Sprite Zero and some blueberry vodka.
Okay.
And it's really pretty. It's blue color and it's delicious. Every single flavor in there is delicious.
Okay, I'm going to have to try those. So the actual can, the Seagrams, does that have alcohol in it?
Yes,
also?
it's like a 3.5%.
Oh, okay.
Oh, 3.2.
Really? Oh, that's low.
Yeah, it's very low. So if you just drink this, it's just kind of sweet a little bit.
Right. This one, what is the ABV? I don't know. It says it contains alcohol, but it doesn't tell me.
It might be a light one too.
It must be. They're like, we're not going to put it on there because we want people to buy them. I have no idea. It doesn't say what it is on this one. Let me see if this one says what it is. I bet they're both, just from the taste of them, they both taste like they're probably pretty low. Well, this one definitely, 5% alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So this one says it, but that one doesn't. That's really bizarre.
How bizarre. How bizarre.
How bizarre. So a drink that I got addicted to, New Year's Eve, we decided to just stay home. People are stupid, and so we don't really like to go out on New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. So we'll usually hang out with friends or do something. So we decided to stay home. We went out back. We're in the Pacific Northwest, so December is freezing. But we had the fire pit going, and we shared a cigar, and we were playing games and having cocktails. And the cocktail that I had, I was drinking the blueberry Red Bull with whipped cream vodka.
Oh.
It was so, like peaches and cream, blueberries and cream. That's what it tasted like. They're so good. And for some reason, Red Bull and stuff like that doesn't keep me up at night, except the one time we went to the beach with some friends of ours. We went on a Friday night, had dinner, and it was, I don't know, 8 o'clock by the time we got to our hotel and checked in. And our friends were like, what are you guys going to do? And we said, we're going to go grab a drink or something. They were like, yeah, I think we're just going to go to bed. It's been a long week. We're like, okay. It's a sleepy little beach town, so there's not a ton of stuff happening. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go down to the little store. We'll get something, just bring it back to the room and have a chill night at the room. Okay. So we go down to the store, which is supposed to be open until 10. It was like 9:15, dead in the town. And so the store was closed. So we're like, well, let's just walk around and see what we can find. So we start walking down the main street and we hear music. We see all these people standing outside of a restaurant. And we're like, okay, that's the place to go. So we pop over there, and the restaurant was in the front and it was closed. But behind the restaurant was a bar that had a huge stage. They were doing karaoke and they had pool tables and dartboards. So much fun. So we belly up to the bar and Isaiah got a beer. And I asked the guy, I really feel like a Spanish coffee, because it was cold and like just a hot drink sounded really good. And so I was like, how is your Spanish coffee? And he goes, I make a good one. If you don't like it, I won't charge you for it. And I was like, done, deal. So he makes me one. And I was like, oh, this actually is really good. The people watching at this little bar in this tiny little seaside town was amazing. So we were there for hours just watching like the craziness of all these people. And the karaoke is hilarious, watching people and then the, drunk people dancing. Anyways, I ended up having like 4 of these Spanish coffees. So we get back to the room. It's like 1 a.m. I'm like, just stared at the wall. I could not go to sleep. I was like, yeah, maybe we should have just stayed home. Like, so that was one time where the caffeine did affect me.
Yeah. I drank 4 Red Bull and vodkas once, and I did not know. I felt like I should be drunk, but I was jittery instead, and I couldn't sleep either. I'm like, what is happening to me right now?
Yeah, normally I don't have that problem. Like, I literally could down a big gulp, like right before bed. I can still go to sleep. I can have a mocha or an espresso at 8 o'clock at night and I will still sleep. But this night, that was not the case. I was all wired up. But anyways, okay. So what's today's topic?
I think we should talk about toys, because we all love toys, and toys from when you're little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Let me put these back. Hold on.
Yeah, we're not doing an X-rated podcast, people.
I've got some very impressive toys.
Yeah, and here's the transition to OnlyFans.
Pics will be available later
right.
for purchase.
Right. So,
kids' toys from the 80s. Got it. Okay, I'm with you.
Yes.
Okay.
So like one of them, I don't even know if they have them anymore, but I had a hoppity horse.
Oh yeah. That was like the ball that had the
with
head
a handle.
And the little handle, and you bounced around. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mine was always flat. So I had to like really use my core and my leg muscles, because it'd just be like
Do they still make those?
I don't know.
I feel like they might still make those.
If they do, they're probably like some cheap, crappy one that's going to pop or something. Mine was like thick rubber.
Yeah, it was like, remember on the playground that the rubber balls from Foursquare and stuff? It was like that, but bigger.
Yeah.
And you bounced on it.
Oh yeah, they were the best.
Yeah, those were really great. That reminds me of the one, I forget what it's called, but it had like a disc and then like a ball on top and a ball on bottom, and you had to stand on the disc and jump.
Oh yes. I don't know what it was called, but we'll figure it out.
I don't remember what it was called, but those were dangerous.
Yeah, I never attempted that. I would have.
Oh yeah,
broke my neck or something.
No, for sure. We like a lot of the toys that we grew up with have been banned, and there's a reason, because they were all so dangerous.
Yeah, Chris used to play lawn darts, which I never had that.
Oh, we had them.
Why am I not surprised?
Mm-hmm. And you know exactly what we did with those. We absolutely used them to try to impel each other.
Of course.
The game was not to get it in the little ring on the other side of the yard. The game was to try to get it stuck in somebody's back or in their skull.
Right, sure. Whatever.
There were several things that we had that we shouldn't have had. So for one,
You said remember.
oh, I forgot we have this game. We should remind the listeners.
Yeah.
It's a
We're
drinking
gonna,
game.
yeah, it's a drinking game. Every time we say, do you remember when? We're going to take a drink. You can join us if you're not driving or at work.
I don't know. If you're at work, go for it.
Maybe. Yeah.
So my brother, there were several things that we had that we should not have had, but one of them was a BB gun. And like my cousins and my brother, they would pump it up as much as they could, and then they would hold it right up to their ass and shoot each other in the ass. Like, this is a terrible idea, but they would do this. But my brother shot me with it several times, but I remember, I'm not asking you. I remember is that still a drink? Okay. Okay. There was a huge hole in my wall, and I had a Benji poster. I was a kid. This was like on our old, I had a Benji poster, and I had to like move it all sideways and, you know, like not straight to cover up the BB holes that were in my wall from my brother. But another one was a cattle prod. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with what these are, but livestock yards.
It's not a toy.
It's definitely not a toy. It has probes on it, and it will electrocute. You hold it up to a cow and electrocute them to get them to. It's not like electrocuting them like an electric chair. It's just a zap, like an electric fence to get them to
moving.
move. Exactly. We used to use those on each other as well.
Why am I not surprised?
Toys that really weren't toys, or products that weren't really toys, we used as toys. Those were a couple of them that were also very dangerous, but.
Well, what was your favorite toy growing up? Do you remember?
Did I have a favorite toy? I remember my brother's favorite toy was his Tonka truck. And one time we used to break our parents' stuff all the time because we would roughhouse so much.
Yes.
We were always wrestling around and roughhousing and beating each other up, and we would break stuff. And it was a Saturday morning, and me and my brother woke up before our parents, like we always did. And I've always been early to bed, early to rise. I've been that way ever since I was a kid. Like, I'd be falling asleep. My mom's like, honey, 6 o'clock is too early to go to bed. You need to stay up. I'm like, please, I'm so tired. So I would wake up really early also. To this day, I'm still an early riser.
Same.
But I woke up and I made myself cereal, and I was in my dad's recliner watching cartoons.
Yes.
And then my brother wakes up. He's like, get out, move. And I'm like, no, I was here first. And he's like, move. I'm like, no. So he was trying to get me out of the recliner. And so he was shaking the back of it, trying to push me out of it. Well, instead, he broke the recliner. The back wouldn't stay up. It just kept falling back. So he's like, you did that. I'm like, I didn't do it. Like, he immediately blamed it on me. And so we pushed it up against the wall so that my dad wouldn't see that it was broken.
Yeah.
So as soon as he's like, what the hell? Why'd you guys move? Why and how did you move the recliner? So he pulls it away from the wall and the back just falls over. So my dad, he said, what happened? I told the truth. My brother lied, like always. I would always tell the truth. He would lie. Even my dad's like, I saw you. He's like, nope, wasn't me. I realized very early on that tell the truth, the consequences aren't as bad. So I would always tell the truth. And because we were good kids, like we've talked about before. So I said exactly what happened. My brother lied. So my dad's like, okay. So a few hours later, he calls us and he goes, go get me your favorite toy. What is your favorite toy? Go get your favorite toy. And so I remember first my brother came out. I think last week we were talking about the Stretch Armstrongs.
Yes.
And how they were filled with some weird.
Actually, we were texting about it.
Oh, we were texting about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So my brother went and grabbed that. And my dad's like, I know that's not your favorite toy. Go get me your favorite toy. So my brother brings his Tonka truck. I don't remember what toy I brought, But my dad proceeds to, okay, let's go into the garage. We go into the garage. He took a sledgehammer and busted our toy. He made us watch it, which, Tonka trucks aren't cheap. I mean, I get the point he was trying to make, but it's like, you are an idiot. This is just costing you money.
True.
But yeah, so he made us go into the garage and he took a sledgehammer and just busted our toys up. So I don't remember what my favorite toy was.
Well, mine were definitely the strawberry shortcake dolls.
Oh, 100%. I remember that. And all of their matching pets. And you still have them. And
Yes.
your mom made custom beds
Yes.
for the doll and the animal.
Not the animal,
right?
But yes, the beds.
Oh, yeah. You had like a playhouse.
Yep.
And it had each one.
Yeah,
had
each little room. And
you should take a picture of that and put it up so that people can see that.
Okay. I know I have one. Yep. Each little room, she had went to the carpet store or whatever, and they had little remnants of wallpaper and carpet. And so she bought little ones to make each little room. It was the best.
Yeah.
And Care Bears and My Little Ponies.
Oh,
those were all and they all played together. Like it was the
Pound
best.
puppies.
I loved Pound Puppies. Oh my God. And the Cabbage Patch. Like they went hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I do remember you definitely loved the strawberry shortcake dolls. I don't know that I really, I mean, I was such a tomboy. We were always outside playing. I
did too, but
I never really had an interest in playing with dolls or Barbies.
Mhm.
I had friends, little girlfriends that like to play Barbies and dolls. And so I would play with them. But for the most part, remember the Barbie trunks? The little pink vinyl plasticky trunk,
and you kept like all their
put
little
everything
clothes.
in, yes, and their furniture, the Barbie furniture.
Yeah. I had like my parents wouldn't let me play with Barbies until I was like 10. I don't know what they thought. I don't know, like I was gonna get them naked or something.
They might F kiss.
Right, exactly. They're gonna F kiss.
Well, I mean, technically, if you took their clothes off, Barbie and Ken were naked. So maybe, they didn't want you to know that.
But they pretty much looked exactly the same downstairs. So
This is true.
But yeah, I didn't play with Barbies until like, I don't know. I think I was 10 when I got my first one. And so I didn't really play with them that long until then I kind of didn't play with toys anymore.
Right. I remember the little Fisher Price skates that were like orange. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, remember, I do.
The little skates, and they were plastic with plastic wheels, and you adjusted them to your foot size. So, fun fact, when we were growing up in the 80s, the cool thing was to have your own skates that you could take to the skating rink.
Oh, yes.
To not have to rent them. But then you had the big pom-pom ball on the top.
Yep.
And then the little dress with the, nylons that you wore all through junior high and high school.
I didn't have any of those things.
No, but the nylons that you wore, the ones from the egg that were all shiny and they looked like those.
Yes.
So that was the cool thing to do. So I wanted a pair of skates so bad. And typical Danny Obar fashion, he got me a pair of roller skates, but they had metal wheels. My very first pair of roller skates, I swear, hand to God, were metal wheels. Do you know how hard it was to roller skate on the road on pavement with metal wheels?
I can't imagine.
They were like sparking. I wanted to take them to the roller rink so bad. And the first time I tried, they were like, no, you can't have those in here. I just wanted a pair of roller skates with the, normal. Yeah. So I always had to rent them when we went to the roller rink. But yeah, my very first pair of roller skates literally had metal wheels.
Speaking of skating rinks, Chris's first job, he was the DJ at the skating rink.
That was his first job?
Yes.
How did he do?
I know.
He landed all the chicks.
Probably.
Did you ask him about that part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they flirted with him.
How did he get a job as a DJ? I mean, how old was he on his first job? Like was he 27 when he got his first job?
No, he was like 16 or 17 or something.
Okay, that's got to be the coolest first job ever.
I know. It's so unfair.
Yeah. I answered phones at a pizza place, and no, my first job was the pizza place that you and I worked at, which I did answer phones as well. But
yeah. Do you remember at that place, there was a little piece of paper right by the telephone that said, smile, they can hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
And it's true though. It's like if you have a bad attitude, it'll come out in your voice. So
yep.
I've thought of that just even as an adult.
Yeah. Did you ever work at the new restaurant? You only worked at the old one?
Yeah. I only worked at the cool one.
It was cool. Okay, we worked with a really cool group of people at that one. Do you remember one of our very good friends who's very tall, who is still a friend of ours? I mean, a Facebook friend, but still a friend. If we saw him in a grocery store, we would absolutely go say hi and probably give him a hug. But he always had the word of the day. Do you remember that? God damn. Do we have to drink?
Yeah, but I don't remember who this was.
Yes, you do. Your husband roommated with his brother, I believe. Or maybe he roommated with him.
Yes, okay.
You know who I'm talking about.
I do.
Super cool guy, super funny.
He always had a word of the day?
That might have been after you. Maybe it was after you.
So is he the one that him and another guy, remember when I was dating the guy I was dating when I worked there? And he went to the bar because he was 21 and we were only like 17. And so the two guys that worked there, we were like griping because we couldn't go anywhere. And they're like, oh, we're having a party at our house.
Yes.
And so is this who we're talking about? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So then they invited us over.
I think
and it was not a party.
It wasn't a party. It was like
it was them and us.
Yes, it was a bunch of dudes and
no, it was two dudes and us.
Oh, just two dudes. Yeah.
Yeah. It was no party.
Isn't that also when we met his little brother and we were like, who's that? Because he was like a total hottie.
Oh no. I did work with him. I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
And
okay.
He lived behind the person whose house we went to.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he was not at that party. He was not like that. No.
Okay. Anyways, that was so much fun to work there.
Oh, yes.
So a quick story. I know we're getting completely sidetracked from 80s toys, but at the old restaurant, it was in a strip mall and there were two doors. The door that you came in to the restaurant, and then there was a back door where we'd get deliveries and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was a supervisor at the time. The restaurant closed at like 10 o'clock, but they sponsored a lot of softball teams. So they would all come there to get pizza and beer after games and what have you. So we were getting ready to close. It was like 10 minutes to 10. And this group comes in and we're like, we're sorry. We're closing in 10 minutes. And they're like, well, is there any way we can just get a pizza and we'll take it to go? And I'm like, the ovens are already turned off. And they were like, please. And we're like, okay. So we turned the ovens back on. We made them a couple pizzas. Their pizzas were ready, called them up, gave them the pizzas that are in boxes so they could go. And they sat down.
What?
They sat down in the dining room and started eating, and they were being so obnoxious. They made a huge mess. So they're getting ready to leave. It was a bunch of guys, and one of the guys comes up and he said, hey, I want to apologize. I'm so sorry. I was trying to get him out of here. He goes, but we left you a little something on the table. And I'm like, oh, no problem. I won't ever do this again, but no problem. Glad I could help. Have a good evening. So they leave and I go and I lock the door behind them and I go over to look at the table. They left me something, clearly like a tip or something. There was a freaking penny on the table. So I don't know if you know about my ninja skills with pennies, but I can flick a penny so far and so fast. So I grabbed the penny and I ran out through the kitchen and went out that back door. And I was like, hey, take your effing penny. And I flicked it at him. And then I shut the door and I don't know. I shut the door real quick and locked it. But I did actually accidentally hit somebody and sliced his forehead open. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, that was my amazing ninja skills with a penny. I would put it in my hand like this. And I can still do it to this day. You can hear it. And it's it'll go far and fast and it will hurt someone. So
What a bunch of jerks that they
I know,
did that.
right? So annoying. Anyways, so back to toys. Wait, there's
Well,
we
this
talked
isn't
about
a
lawn
toy.
darts.
Yeah, this isn't a toy, but video games, at the pizza parlor,
Oh, I
there were
remember.
arcade games that were amazing. I mean, that
Oh
people would
yeah.
come,
Oh yeah.
you'd have
Speaking of the restaurant,
dinner,
hmm
and there was Pac-Man, Super Mario Brothers, Contra.
Galaga,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
driving
Centipede.
cruising California or cruising the driving one where you
Yeah,
sat in it and you drove. They still
yeah.
have those.
That was back when it was just a quarter.
That was absolutely the thing to do though, was
Oh
on a
yeah.
Friday night, Saturday night. Like we didn't eat out a lot when we were kids, but
Hmm.
on the weekends, at least once a month, that was the thing. We'd go to the pizza parlor. We would get a handful of quarters to go into the game room. My parents
Yep.
would drink beer and we'd have pizza and it was
Yep.
so much fun.
Yeah. When I worked there, a pitcher of beer was $4.25.
Yeah. Okay, so do you remember the square dancers used to always come? Do we have to drink? Yeah.
We've missed so many. It's okay.
The square dancers used to come in at night. It was
Mm-mm.
a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, something like that. Every week, they would always come there
Were they
to get
old?
a beer. Well, yeah. Well, one of our very good friends, I think I can say her nickname, Bean.
Okay.
Yeah. Her mom was
Oh, I
one of the
didn't know
square
that.
dancers, and
I did not know that.
yeah, they would come in, and so they would get like the women would get glasses of wine, and the men would usually get beer. Sometimes they would order food, but most of the time they just came for a drink. They would stay for a little bit and then leave. um so one of my favorite, it wasn't really a toy, but when I had it, I
Uh-huh.
loved it and played with it all the time. Fashion plates.
I loved fashion
So
plates.
I was just talking about this recently with somebody at work, which everybody that I work with is much younger than me, and nobody knew what fashion plates were.
I'll find a picture and put it up.
Well, I
I'm
did. I went online and found a picture and I was like, this. And I was like, you had a sister. She didn't have this. And he's like, I don't know how old you think I am.
Oh my god. Yeah, you'd pick like the girl with the
The
different
top
hats
and then the middle
top
and then the
yep.
bottom. Yes. And then it had
And
the
you
little crayon that you put
crayon.
on the thing. You would it
Yep.
would create the outline. Then you
Hmm.
had the colored pencils that you would then go and color it in.
Yes.
I loved fashion plates.
Yes.
Absolutely loved them. Tinker Toys and Lincoln Logs.
Yes. Loved those. You could build anything with them.
You can still get those too. I doubt
Okay.
you could get a fashion plate, but if you were to go on Amazon or something like that, even probably like Target or
Yes.
Walmart, you can absolutely still get Tinker Toys and Lincoln Logs. Mm-hmm.
So what was a toy that someone else had that you always wished that you had? Like if you'd go over to your friend's house and they had a toy and you're just like, "Oh," like every time you went over there, you wanted to play that toy really bad. Do you have any of those?
Ah,
I have a
I was
couple.
I was so used to not having anything that I never really.
You're like everybody's house I wanted to go to and play with their toys. So Bean that you just
Uh-huh.
talked about, she had the Snoopy snow cone maker. And
I had
so
one of those. How did I have? My dad probably stole it or something. Who knows?
well, every time I went over there, I was like, oh, can we make a snow cone? And it was probably like a big pain in the butt, but I loved that. And there was a girl down around the corner, and I'm a nerd, obviously. She had a speak and spell.
Oh yeah.
I wanted one of those
Mhm.
so bad, and I never got one. So anytime I went to her house, I'm like, can I play with your speak and spell?
That reminds me also of what was the one before the speak and spell?
The Snoopy snow
The
cone.
Easy Bake Ovens. Remember the
Oh.
Easy Bake Ovens?
Yeah, I didn't have that either.
Yeah, I think I had one of those too. I think the Snoopy snow cone thing, they were too cheap to like buy the syrups and stuff. So we would have to like put Kool-Aid in it instead of the
Hey, it
syrups.
works.
Yeah, we would use Kool-Aid in it. And the Easy Bake Ovens, which actually really baked stuff.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I played it somewhere.
Okay, so one toy that brings back really funny memories for me, the little water toys where you press the button and you tried to get the little ring to go over the peg.
Oh,
So,
yes.
so it was a little case.
Yes.
And it had
red.
one button. Yeah, usually red, and had these little colored rings. You would push the button, it would create bubbles, and it would push the ring up.
Yep.
And you tried to get it on the thing. Okay. So my mom was born and raised in Oakland, which was about a 3-hour drive from where we lived. So a couple times a year we would make a family trip down to the Bay Area to visit family and what have you. My brother and I were terrible. Mostly my brother. But like, I can't even imagine being in a car for 3 hours with me and my brother. So my brother would antagonize me all the time. So and they would do stuff like we would have crayons and we would inevitably leave them in the car, and then they would melt all over the back seat. So they would these water games. They would give us those, like, to try to keep us busy. Nothing kept us busy. My dad got to where he stacked luggage in between us. So my brother was on one side of the car. And remember, in the 80s, cars were as big as a bus. Yes. So my brother is way over on this side. I'm way over on this side. And they had all the luggage stacked in between us so that we couldn't see each other. We couldn't touch each other. So what did my brother do? Do you know what gleeking is?
Oh, yeah. I rock at it.
Okay. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah. So it's I don't know. You use your tongue to, are you going to do it and like gleek all over your camera?
I can.
I don't think you should. Okay. Or do it. Yeah, I saw it. So I can't do that. My brother could. So he was doing that over the luggage. So I was like, stop it. Knock it off. Stop it. And then like, I can't even, me as a little girl, like, knock it off. My dad was like, Sean, stop. I don't know what you're doing, but knock it off. So he kept doing it. And I'm like, stop. So my dad, if he said, I'm going to pull this car over, he would pull this car over and beat your butt. Like, that's just, my dad didn't play around. He was not a man of empty threats. So when my dad said, Sean, I swear to God, I will pull this car over. So he knew to stop. So he stopped. So then I go, boy, knock it off. My dad slams on the brakes, pulls over. My brother's like, I didn't do it. I stopped. I didn't do it. My dad gets out, yanks my brother out of the back seat, beats his ass, throws him back in the car. The whole time my brother's like, I didn't do it. And I'm like,
that's evil.
So even those little water games was not enough, which you probably played with him too, because my dad loved to do like Sunday drives. And I'd be like, oh, can I go to Cindy's? And he's like, no, but Cindy can come with us. Yeah. So you would come along with us. I'm sure we had those like on those Sunday drives too.
Oh yeah.
You just got car sick.
Yes, I did. Hey, speaking of being sick, what about Light Bright? Every time so I never really played with my Light Bright until I was sick. And for some reason, that was like the toy that my mom would always pull out when I was sick, because you just kind of sat there and you put the little lights on there.
Oh, yeah. And Etch-a-Sketches. Like, Etch-a-Sketches and Light Brights kind of were two cooler toys.
Yes.
You can still buy an Etch-a-Sketch and a Light Bright.
Definitely. What about the Simon Says game?
Yeah. Okay, that's really funny because weeks ago I was like, oh, we should talk about games from the 80s. And Simon Said so they had the big one that was the 4 colors.
Yep.
And then they had the little ones. My dad had a little one that was like a travel one that you could like play with in the car, and you could play by yourself with that one, or you could play with, people, like you take 2 colors, we take 2 colors. Those were really fun. Those were like the OG memory games, except the memory cards.
Yes. I used to play that too.
Oh yeah. I remember playing memory at your house. You were always really good at it. To this day, I am terrible.
Yeah.
Like
I'm more like a goldfish now. I don't think I do very good.
No, that's true. Because it's really funny. There are things where years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, you reminded me of something. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally forgot. And then we'll be talking about it and you're like, no, don't remember. I'm like, you're the one that reminded me of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like the hot tub. when we went to
Oh,
the
yeah.
fair at the exhibit where you jumped in a hot tub with white shorts on. You were the one that reminded me of that, and then you didn't remember it.
I don't know. I think it's like all this just stress and stuff. I think it's doing something to my memory.
Well, here's what I say. So my husband gets so mad at me because I have like, I can remember stuff from a long time ago, but if you ask me, like, Shar, I was just telling you last week this and ABC,
Yep.
and I'm like, yep, no. And then like 3 days later, I'm like, oh yeah, now I remember.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
he gets so mad at me because my short-term memory is just, and I mean, I am 50. I'm 50 years old now, so part of
We
it could be
qualify for
age.
AARP.
Okay, you know what pisses me off? So I was really ticked 5, 6, 7 years ago when I started getting stuff from AARP. I'm like, I'm not even 50 yet. Calm down,
Yeah,
people. This
same.
this is uncalled for. You know what I get now? Have you thought about your burial? I'm getting ads for freaking cemeteries and caskets. Like, look, people, 50 is the new 20. This girl is going to be
Exactly.
around for another 40 years. So,
Yeah, exactly.
like, I don't plan on going anywhere. I don't need to worry about my cemetery plot and I mean, it's good to have a plan.
Sure.
You never know what's going to happen. I
Sure.
just actually found out yesterday that a very, very dear friend of mine passed away. Very unexpected, very sudden. I think she was in her 60s.
But that's young to be passing
That's
away
young.
suddenly.
Absolutely. So you never know what's going to happen. So it's a good idea to have a contingency plan.
Sure.
So that your loved ones know what to do but come on, plots and caskets.
I know.
Calm down. I would try to get my money.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Isaiah's just going to like freeze dry me.
Oh.
And then, like keep me around. I told him he could absolutely get remarried, but I will absolutely haunt you and her.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just for the fun of it, not because I'm upset. Like, I want you to be happy, but I'm absolutely going to F with both of you.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I read something the other day. It said, after I die, don't look towards the sunset and remember me. I'm going to be chasing you down the stairs as a ghost.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. What other toys?
I mean,
remember the ones like for babies, or wait, you said the speak and spell. Remember the one where you would pull the thing and the dial would turn and it would say, "This is a cow."
Moo. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the ones for babies that were like the hard plastic thing that had like a little mirror, a little button you could press, and the thing would go up and down, and the little rolly thing.
Yes. But what about, okay, this is not what they were called. I called them roundhead people. Do you remember roundhead people? They're the Fisher Price little people that they had a round head and like a little cylinder body.
And you put them in the bus.
Yep, they had all sorts of
bus.
Things.
Yep.
But I think the most memorable was the barn.
Yes, the barn. Yes.
And that reminded me because when you open the little doors, they go, "Murr."
Murr. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love to.
I remember that too. Yeah.
Yep, I always called them roundhead people.
Roundhead people.
Yeah.
I mean, I get
They
it.
were roundhead.
Yeah, I can't really think of. I know you had. Did you have a drum set or guitar?
I had both.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna post this picture because I just found a picture of me with my Fonzie guitar.
Fonzie.
Wearing my green little play suit that I was telling you about that was like made out of wash right. Yes.
Yeah.
And I had just cut my bangs myself. So they were like this short. I remember when I got caught for that because, my mom walks in. She's like, oh, Cindy, did you cut your hair? I'm like, no.
As they're like up here.
It's like when you're a kid, you don't even think about like, duh, I can't lie about this. It's obvious. You're a kid.
What's funny? I never cut my hair when I was a kid. Probably because my mom was smart enough to keep scissors out of our hands, because guaranteed one of us would have stabbed the other had we been allowed to play with
True.
scissors.
That's true.
So I never cut my hair when I was a kid. I did cut other people's hair, which we did talk about. I had that boy,
Yeah.
he had a crush on me, and I cut his hair.
Yeah. Remember he had a really nice smile?
Yes, he had a beautiful smile.
Yep.
Beautiful smile.
When we were talking about me lying about that.
Yeah.
So apparently when I was little and I would lie about something, I had a very strong tell. I would go like this. I would stick my tongue in my cheek. So it's like, Cindy, did you cut your hair? No. It's like, I'm glad I don't do that when I'm playing poker.
Good thing you grew out of that one.
Yes, thank goodness.
I don't know why this popped into my head, but I remember the first time your mom met my dad. So now your mom is this very proper, tiny little Christian woman,
Girl Scout leader.
Sunday school teacher. Oh my God, do you remember when we were song leaders on the Joy Bus? We'll have to talk about that in a minute. Put a pin in that parking lot. That. So your mom was very sweet and very nurturing. She was such a good mom. Like, I always wished that like I lived in your house. Not that my mom was a bad mom, but your mom was like the Brady Bunch mom. So your mom had only met my mom because my mom worked at the school. My mom's job, her and my dad had a very traditional marriage, like from the 60s, where my mom took care of the house and the kids. My dad took care of the cars. He worked, took care of the yard.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was my mom's responsibility. So my mom was the one that was, running me to Girl Scouts and picking me up and, anything like that. It was my mom. Well, she couldn't pick me up from Girl Scouts one day. Now, my mom, second grade teacher, she was also kind of quiet until she started drinking. And she was a loudmouth. But she was very sweet. And, my mom was, similar to your mom, just not as wholesome. And so your mom had only known my mom. My dad, tatted up, long hair, bandana, leather jacket, rode a Harley, was a Hell's Angel, looked the part, spoke the part,
Was the part.
was the part, but he also was 100% a family man. Like, he would literally murder for his family if it came down to it, which it almost did one time. When he thought something inappropriate had happened with me, he went to kill the neighbor. But anyways, so my mom couldn't pick me up from Girl Scouts. So my dad had to come and pick me up. Your mom had never met my dad. So he pulls up on his Harley wearing studded jeans, probably a leather jacket. He's got, his glasses, long hair, tats everywhere. And he came to the door and said, "Hi, I'm here to pick up Shar." And your mom was like, "Nope." So she's like, "I'm sorry, who are you?" I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but my dad's like, "Oh, I'm Danny, Nancy's husband. Nancy couldn't come, so I'm here to pick up Shar." So your mom was like, "One moment," and shuts the door and goes back and gets me, and it's like, "Now, honey, is this your dad?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's my dad." Or I think she said, "Do you know this person?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's my dad." And she's like, "Oh, okay, this is your dad." And so she let me go with him. But first of all, kudos to your mom for not letting me go with clearly a possible stranger who looked like he was probably, going to sell me on the black market for a bottle of booze and a joint. But yeah, that was the first time your mom met my dad. She was like, "Yep, nope, not happening." You'll have to ask your mom if she remembers that when the first time my dad came to pick me up from Girl Scouts, and she was like,
"Oh, I'm sure she does. She remembers everything. She has a way better memory than me."
Well, and also my dad and mom did not look like they should be together, because my mom's like second grade teacher, and then my dad's like this Hell's Angel, tatted
Yeah.
up biker. They did not seem like they should go together, but they were married for 29 years before my dad passed away. So I'm sure a
Yeah.
few of those years were happy.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, actually, I had mentioned earlier that you'd go on Sunday drives with us. My dad, very much all about family, would protect us he would go to prison for life if he needed to for my mom, my brother, or myself.
Yes.
He was the one that came from a big family. He had a lot of brothers and sisters. We all lived in the same town, a lot of cousins. My dad was the one that he was kind of the ringleader. He was the one that kept everybody together. And there were just certain things. We're going to go to the lake today. Oh, I don't want to go to the lake. Can I go to Cindy's house? No, but Cindy can come with us. So you inevitably did a lot of stuff with us.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't just, no, my dad was like,
Ditch.
no.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, we ate dinner at the table every single night as a family.
Same. Yep.
We did everything. We would go camping. We'd go to the lake. We would just go for a Sunday drive. It was always as a family. So
It was. It was.
it was nice to grow up like that. And it's funny because I remember, as we were older, much older, having this conversation where I was like, I always wanted to be in your family. And you're like, are you kidding me? You told me I wanted to be in your family. Like, you guys did all of this fun stuff, and you got to go to the lake, you got to go to the park, you got to go to the river. You were always doing this fun stuff. I'm like, yeah, actually, I did have a really great childhood.
Yeah.
Like, looking back, I'm like, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Exactly.
It made me the strong, persistent. Do you remember when you used to call me a persistent little turd?
I do remember that.
Mm-hmm. I get that from my dad.
I have not called you that in a long time.
Yeah, you used to always call me that, though.
Yep, because you were.
I was. I still am. Ask my husband.
I don't need to. I already know. So back to toys.
Sorry.
Games.
Oh, yeah.
So board games. Board games was a big deal. Obviously, Monopoly, Clue, just
Stratego.
I never played that.
I believe you owned it.
Okay, well, I didn't play it. I don't know how to play it. We played Chinese checkers.
Yeah.
And it was with marbles, which I didn't understand why it was called checkers.
Because in China, that's checkers.
Yeah, right. Actually, when I was little, I really loved the play, which they have that still now, but like you had a play kitchen and you'd have your doll and like you'd pretend to cook and stuff like that. Yeah. I always liked to do that too.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And what about those crazy magic baby bottles that looked like it was full of milk and then
you tipped it upside down and it went away? It's like, where did it go?
Where did it go?
Yeah. Remember the dolls that actually peed? You'd feed them a bottle and then they'd pee?
Yeah. I didn't have one of those.
Oh, I did. Oh, I had one.
My parents were probably like, no, we're not doing that.
My dad's like, Matt, you got to learn someday.
Hey, do you remember? I'm out of drink, but it was some kind of musical instrument that I had, and it was purple and white, and it was maybe like 2 feet long, and it had all these colored buttons that had numbers on them. I'll look it up and find it. I don't remember what it was called, but it had a little songbook, and you would push the correlating like number color thing box, whatever, and you could make songs. So you just had to follow it. Like, you didn't have to be able to read music or anything.
It was like the OG Guitar Hero?
Maybe, yes. But I remember laying in bed when I was little, and it stayed in my closet. And I think like the batteries were going dead or something, because I was laying there, not quite asleep, and I hear something coming out of my closet. It's like, I'm like, it was that thing. Or maybe something was like, exactly.
The boogeyman lived in your closet.
Yes.
So speaking of music, fun fact about Cindy and Shar, we were the song leaders on the Joy Bus. So for anybody that doesn't know what a Joy Bus is, so we were very involved with the church when we were younger. And on Sundays, there was a school bus that was painted with, rainbows and birds and all this fun stuff. And it was the Jesus Joy Bus. Crosses and whatever. And there was one particular family who is probably still part of the church. We loved them.
Yeah.
We all loved their son.
He was very
and
cute.
He was so cute. Actually, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and I don't think we ever broke up. So I'm pretty sure we're still boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh,
so
okay. Impressive.
I have a side piece. Don't tell my husband. But
the guy doesn't know either, but
he doesn't know either. And neither does his wife or 4 kids, but don't tell them either. So the Joy Bus for kids that wanted to come to church, but they didn't have a ride because their parents didn't go or it was too far to walk or what have you, the Joy Bus would go and pick up kids and bring them to church. So you had to keep kids occupied. Otherwise, they were rambunctious and, causing trouble. So they always had a song leader. And so when Cindy and I were teenagers, I don't know if we got asked or if we were like, we want to do this. We must have been asked.
You got to stand up on the bus.
Yes, but also you had to be there like 2 hours before church and ride around town. So it wasn't
fun.
We had fun doing it, but so everybody that got on the bus got a songbook, and then people would pick numbers and we would lead the song, but we got to stand up on the front of the bus. We decided to do, I think it was Ice Ice Baby.
I'm sure we did.
It was Ice Ice Baby, or might have been Can't Touch. No, I'm more than positive it was Ice Ice Baby. We decided to sing that to the kids on the Joy, which that's always been my go-to song.
Oh, absolutely.
Ice Ice Baby. But yeah, we would sing songs that weren't in the songbook just to entertain the kids. They loved it though. They were like, sing this, sing that. And it's like, stick to the songbook. Yeah. But to this day, when you and I get together, we will always start busting out songs that we sing.
We will not do that to you guys.
We won't do it to the listeners, but every single time we do it to your mom. But your mom loves it.
Oh, yeah.
Your mom loves when we start singing Blue Skies and Rainbows.
Yep. Chris doesn't love it, I'm sure.
Isaiah probably doesn't either. Yeah. But anybody that's around us has to deal with it. That's just who we are.
Got to deal with it. Yep, that's exactly right.
It's who we are. Just accept it. It's what makes us us.
Exactly. So, Shar, do you have any trivia for us tonight?
I do.
Yes.
I do. So, since we like to enjoy a cocktail or some sort of adult beverage while we are recording, I thought it would be fun to do some trivia on popular 80s drinks.
Oh, 80s drinks? How am I supposed to know that? I didn't drink in the 80s.
They're very common. Actually, I don't think you were drinking in, the late 80s. You might have been, but not a lot.
No, not a lot, but
I mean,
we
it
had
was
our
an
moments.
It was an occasional box wine spritzer.
Right, exactly.
And then the one time you drank whiskey and got shit-faced.
Also, there was one time with my boyfriend during that time, I think he stole from his stepdad one of those big jugs of wine, but it had that little hole, like a little thing that you just stuck your finger in.
Carlo Russo, I think.
Maybe.
Carlos.
We drank that.
Carlos starts with an R. Rossi? Maybe. Starts with an R. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to tell you. Now, there are drinks that you can order today. They're still popular today, but these were popular drinks in the 80s also.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you the drink, and you tell me the ingredients.
Oh, my God. Can you tell me the ingredients, and I get to tell you the drink instead?
We could do it that way. I think that's easier.
Okay, well, let's try one your way, and I'll see if I can even come close.
Okay. So this cocktail is made of tequila, orange juice, and grenadine.
That would be a tequila sunrise.
See, you little alky. This is going to be fine. Do you know what glass it's traditionally served in? Because you know how all drinks have a specific glass?
I don't know. I think I don't know.
It's usually in a tall glass.
Oh, okay. I was trying to overthink that one. Okay.
Yeah. So this one is vodka, tequila, light rum, triple sec, gin, and a splash of cola.
That has to be a Long Island iced tea.
100%.
I don't like those.
Is there any tea in a Long Island iced tea?
Apparently not.
No, there isn't.
A splash of soda.
But because of the color that it turns from
Yeah.
the splash of cola, that's why it's called a Long Island iced tea or an iced tea. I don't know why Long Island, but okay. So we actually talked about this drink before. We used to call them hairy belly buttons. But the actual name is a
Screwdriver.
no.
Oh, no, a fuzzy navel. Sorry.
Yes, but they're similar, so I can see where you got confused.
Yeah.
So since you know the name of that one, you tell me what is in a fuzzy navel.
Orange juice.
Yep. I'll give you a hint. There's only 2 ingredients.
I know. And I thought a screwdriver was orange juice and vodka. So maybe a orange juice and vodka is fuzzy navel.
Orange juice and peach schnapps is the fuzzy navel.
Okay.
Now, when you add vodka to it, it's actually a hairy navel.
Ew. That sounds gross. So a fuzzy navel.
A screwdriver is just orange juice and vodka. That's a screwdriver.
Okay. So
there's no belly buttons involved
no
in
belly
that
buttons.
drink.
And you said that, okay.
Now, bonus points. Do you know what a pierced fuzzy navel is?
No.
Neither do I. I just made that shit up.
I'm like, what the hell is that?
I just made that up.
I think that's something that we tried to do several times in our teens.
Okay.
Remember when we tried to pierce our belly button?
I was going to not say, do you remember? So you worked at a professional medical clinic.
I did.
And you were able to get the needles.
A very giant needle.
A very giant needle.
We did not share.
Yeah. So the first time we pierced my belly button, we pierced
each other's. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did yours too.
Yeah,
I forgot. So we iced them and then just used an earring and like pushed it through.
Right. That didn't work out well.
That did not work out. So like 3 weeks later, it was barely hanging on like a little piece of skin and like fell off. So then you got the needles from work. There's a stranger walking in your house.
Maybe he'll bring me another drink.
911! Mayday! Mayday!
He's looking at me like, me?
Stranger danger! Stranger danger! So then you borrowed some hypodermic needles. Are they hypodermic still? Those kind of needles are still called hypodermic?
I didn't borrow. I went to the veterinary supply store and I got the fattest needles, but they were really short because we wanted them to be fat to be able to put the ring through. Yes. But unfortunately they were really short. And remember we thought we were so good because we stood up and we marked how it was we wanted it to sit, and then we iced it.
Yep.
And then I think you did mine first, or whoever did it first. Laid down, poked it through, and we were cracking up so bad. We were laughing and laughing. And whoever it was, the belly button. Thank you.
Hey.
Pete.
Hey, can he pass one over here too? I'm almost empty. Oh man.
Whoever's belly button went first, the belly button was full of blood and we were dying laughing. Anyway, so we finally got the little ring through, but we weren't strong enough to close it. And we went over to my mom's house because we wanted to get into her junk drawer because we're like, she probably has some pliers in there. We can close it. Mom, we need to use your pliers. For what? And we showed her our belly buttons and they were all like bruised and looked like horrible. And she was like, what have you guys done? We were like 20 or something.
I just had a secret elf come in and bring me something too.
Oh my gosh, Chris is so quick. He made it all the way to Washington. That's funny.
That just says how loud we are. My husband is like 2 rooms away and my door shut and he heard me hoping for another drink.
Okay, give me the...
He's amazing.
They're both pretty cool.
Yeah, they're all right. They both listen. So they are... stranger danger! This is like your cat all over again. Like,
Right? I don't think he's going to show his butt, though.
Please don't. Please don't. We're going to have to edit all this out.
Nah.
Okay. So next drink.
Okay.
Now we talked about Midori sours on from my 21st birthday, where they were like 50 cents.
Yes.
What's in an amaretto sour?
So obviously, Di Serono.
Obviously.
And what?
What is Di Serono?
That's the amaretto liqueur.
Okay.
And then what? Sweet and sour? Right?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I don't know.
So now on the internet it just said amaretto liqueur. So
I'm pretty sure Di Serono is amaretto liqueur.
Okay. So you were right. Mixed with lemon juice.
Ew,
but
okay.
modern versions do include like bourbon or a simple syrup.
Oh.
So they've changed a little bit. But in the 80s, it was just amaretto liqueur and lemon juice.
Huh,
sounds disgusting. Now, you know that a lot of drinks, the topper on them, how they're kind of frothy, that's egg whites that they whip and put on the drink.
Oh, yes. I've noticed, or I've heard of that.
Yeah. Okay. So, next one is a B52.
I have no idea. Not a clue.
Really?
Nope.
Take a stab.
Okay. B52. I'm
think
gonna
you
guess
know what a B52 is, right? I mean, you've had
a
the
bomber?
shot.
No.
You've
I mean, not that I know of.
I think you have. You just
Well,
didn't realize.
probably,
that's what you were
maybe.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm gonna guess rum
Okay.
and grenadine and I don't
You're
know.
just throwing shit out there.
Well, you said to take a stab at it.
That's true. I did. I'm surprised. You're going to be like, oh, that's what that is?
Maybe.
It's Kahlua or coffee liqueur, but typically Kahlua. That's like the main ingredient in a B52.
Okay. I don't think I've ever drank one.
Irish cream.
Okay.
So like a Bailey's Irish cream and Grand Marnier. And it's typically a shot.
Okay. It sounds yummy, but I've never had that.
They are. So when we were in London, our friends introduced us to, which if they're listening, hi. They introduced us to a baby Guinness.
I want to know what that is.
I will tell you. It's in a shot glass. You put Kahlua in, and then you top it with Bailey's Irish cream, and it looks like a little baby Guinness.
Oh.
And then you shoot it. They were delicious.
I bet.
Yeah. So next time we have friends over, I'm like, shot. We're doing those. We're doing baby Guinnesses.
Well, they sound delicious.
They are. So, and I have Grand Marnier. So maybe we'll have B52s as well. Okay. So the last one that I have.
Okay.
White Russian, or you can give me the Black Russian.
White Russian. I'm going to guess Kahlua. And I don't know, Char. I just drink them.
Okay. So a Black Russian is vodka and coffee liqueur.
Oh.
That's like the traditional one. When you add cream to it, that makes it a White Russian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've had those before, but I was probably like 20s or something.
Yeah. Now, to this day, I like, the Cutwater drink that I had a few episodes ago, that was the White Russian Cutwater, and it was delicious. Delicious.
Well, you definitely, Char, need to try this peach Bellini.
Okay, I love peach Bellini. So at my local liquor store, which is a Total Wine, so it's like the best shopping.
Yeah, you suck.
It's the best store ever. Oh yeah, you've been to it. It's really cool. Total Wine is awesome. You name it, they got it. They have a peach Bellini in a bottle, like a wine. It's so good. It's dangerous,
these are carbonated. Yes, that's why I'm saying you need to get these.
Okay, take a picture of it and text it to me because
Okay,
I'm going to
I
go
will.
to Total Wine and get one.
You need to get the whole package
will,
because
will.
they're all delicious.
Girl, do you think I'm going to go to Total Wine and just buy one single can? No, I'm going to buy the whole variety pack.
Yeah,
you should see. We have a fridge out in our garage.
I've seen it.
Just beverages.
I know. I remember. Yeah. It's great.
Yes. So, yeah, no, I will get the variety pack. Don't you worry.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's all the trivia I had.
Perfect.
Unless you want to talk about your favorite drink and see if I can tell you what the ingredients are.
Beer.
Hops.
Hops and water. No, I think we're good for today. Oh,
all right.
Wait, I want to show you one more thing. Look at what my sister gave me. So this is super cool. She got it off Amazon. It's
I have those. I have those.
Okay. Wine wings. Yeah. Yep. So when you buy a bottle of wine and then you got to like make sure it doesn't break. Yeah. She brought me a bottle. Actually, I'll show it next time for Halloween because she brought me 2 bottles of wine. They're awesome. But she also brought Chris some of his very favorite beer that we can only get in California. So
wait, what is it? You can only get it in California? I bet. So
maybe
I'm going to have some visitors soon and maybe it's a beer I'll want to buy.
Okay, well, it's called Num Num Juice, and it's from one of the breweries in Reading.
Here's the great thing about Total Wine: if it's something that they don't carry, you let them know what it is, and they can typically order it for you.
Okay, it is Num Num Juice from Fall River Brewing.
Okay, send it to me. Send me.
Okay, I will.
Take a screenshot and send it to me, and I'll see if I can get it.
Oh.
And if I can get it, I will. I'll drink it on a podcast.
Oh, well, it's an IPA, so I don't know if you'll love it.
I hate IPAs, but I would do it for our listeners, which I saw. I saw we celebrated our 50th follower. Yay! We need more, though. We need more.
We do.
We're trying to retire.
Yes. And we're going to need at least 1 million people or something. So.
We're going to need more. We need you people, our friends, our family, our listeners. When I say you people, that's who I mean. To share, to like, to add comments.
Make other people like us.
Make other people like us. Put it out there.
Yes, definitely.
We need the following so that we can retire. And then just do this for a living. And I don't know, maybe we could, start doing 2 a week. I don't know.
Yeah.
People are like, no, please don't. Please don't.
Yeah, but just think when we go on vacation or something, I mean, we could technically do a podcast from wherever we want.
Right? From Paris.
You could have.
Right?
I know.
Okay.
All right.
Well, another great episode, B2.
Absolutely.
It was great hanging out with you like always.
Yes.
Until next week.
Cheers. All right. Cheers.